So we are now live.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the
Hello.
Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
Now I'm the host, Paul, and we are joined this evening by a few special guests. We are welcoming the amazing return of Charlotte and her feet, who she might be getting tickled as we speak by not Goodwill or not by Kev, but by a dog, by little Ruby. And we are joined by the wonderful Caitlin and Megan. I've just realised I've got your pictures the wrong way around, so bear with me. Sorry about that. But yes, and they have their own podcast themselves, all on the subject matter that we're talking about tonight.
And other stuff.
And other stuff, yes. So what is the name of your podcast as well, again?
Prodigies of Hell.
Prodigies of Hell, that's the one. And how long have you been doing it as well?
Just about a year, innit, Megan?
It's coming up to the 1 year anniversary this month.
Ah, right.
On Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Yeah, I edited it a few days beforehand and scheduled it to release that day.
Oh, wow. Oh, what a Christmas present.
And how
so
are you?
Two podcasts merging.
And how are you finding doing the podcast? Have you found any tricks or giving away little secrets for us yet?
We love it, really. We've had a few celebrities on, haven't we?
Yeah, we're still learning because obviously we're quite new to the podcast scene. We're always learning and finding ways to edit and promotions and running the social medias, as well as trying to find time in our schedules to do it.
Tell us about it. That's the thing. The time and schedule is the interesting thing. Like my poor wife, bless her, I love her a bit, but I don't know how she hasn't left us yet. Like I said, doing all these things, but it is interesting what you said. Like the things you learn, and as you gradually go. Like from where we started, we just did a random uploaded videos from Zoom. Now we've got an actual look and feel, and
we've got a production.
A little bit of a fan base as well, like say, shall we say? But yeah, it's an interesting to see its growth, and it's nice, like as you said, getting involved with other people. I think, like say, we've had celebrities on, but like say, more ours has been like comic book artists and like say from America, which was a big thrill. And Charlotte had a moment, like say, meeting one of her favorite artists that works with like DC and Catwoman, which totally blew her mind. But yes.
It was my favourite moment of the year. Nothing can top that.
But yes. So what other stuff do you like? Say what again? Tell us a bit about yourselves there. Now I've swapped your pictures around. Sorry about that.
Meg, do you want to go first since I keep opening my gob?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Megan, obviously, as well as Supernatural, clearly. I'm a massive horror buff. I've been a massive fan of horror since I was a teenager, and that kind of led me to special effects makeup, and that then led me to the scare industry, and I've been working at a scare maze for the past since 2019, so 3 or 4 years now.
And have you got any good scares, any good stories you can tell from that?
I have made grown men scream and run away.
But is that just in the maze, or is that in your personal life?
Yeah, in the maze, and also when I did some immersive work, I have like 6 foot, like proper muscly guys. I've managed to scare them, and they've literally pegged it, like literally ran away from me, and I'm 5'2", so it's not easy for me to scare people. But I've just
amazing.
It, and they've pegged it and ran. It's just brilliant, just scaring people. It's great.
No, I remember like on trying to see what year it was. I think it was me 30th 10 years ago. Wow.
Sorry.
Me and my wife went to Florida and done the Universal Horror Nights.
Oh, Halloween Horror Nights. That's something I really would love to do.
And the first house we did, well, like say, because it was the first year they did the Walking Dead house, and like say, my wife is a big horror fan. She loves the gory, messy stuff. I am a fanny when it comes to blood and gore. But as soon as we walked in, I've never seen my wife so scared, getting chased around, like I say, by zombies, to the point where she asked someone when people at the doors and said, "Where's the fire exit? I can't take it anymore." So she bailed out there. But I always like telling that story. But getting chased around the Resident Evil, not the Silent Hill house, by Pyramid Head was always like a plus there for me. So yeah, very interesting there.
yeah. Walking Dead is one of the top shows as well for me, as well as Star Trek, Star Wars. I'm multi-fandom, like I like a lot of fandoms.
Me too. I'm exactly the same.
I'm a nerd whore.
I'll be doing my first horror night next year for my 40th.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I can't wait to scare the crap out of myself.
So what were you saying there, Caitlin? You were a nerd whore, did you say?
Yeah.
So explain.
Yeah.
I'm part of that many fandoms.
Right, cool. So what is your favourite fandoms?
Oh fuck. Supernatural, Walking Dead, horror,
Mhm.
Chilling
Yeah.
Adventures of Sabrina, True Blood, Once Upon a Time, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter,
Yep.
she's welcome
Fate
here.
of the Winter Saga, Star Trek, Star Wars,
Yep.
DC, Marvel,
Yep.
Disney.
Yep.
Just Lord of the Rings is shit, by the way, but that's another thing.
It's not. Don't worry, Caitlin.
Not even.
If you want to go back and watch where he had to actually put up for an hour and a bit of me and oh gosh, who else was on? Emily. We're talking about Lord of the Rings. His face was a picture.
But
He loved every second of it.
It's a movie about walking where it's just like say just got rid of the ring.
Goonies, 80s.
See?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go. You've just catered to his feelings right there.
See?
Oh my god, the
What?
Goonies was mentioned and it wasn't Paul.
Yep. So
Whoa!
I bet Sean Astin.
have you met Sean Astin? Oh, we are trying to see what we can do, but like I say, he's someone I would love to talk to and meet. Like I say, I would fuck all the other stuff he's done, but like I say, I'll just talk to him about an hour about the Goonies. Maybe Stranger Things. I might talk to him about that a little bit as well.
That too, yeah.
Bob deserved better.
Bob
was
said-
robbed.
Labyrinth.
But and digitally enhanced crotches if you like Labyrinth, so we'll go there.
Is that digitally enhanced?
It was. It's a low
No,
fact.
no, somebody, no. Oh, who was it? Warwick Davis came out and said it was socks. He said he'd stuffed it with socks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he stuck them down his pants.
I like the
I'm not
digital.
complaining.
I was like the digital enhanced. But to be fair though, he had a good life, David Bowie. Like the women he slept
May he
with.
rest in peace.
The women he slept with, bless him. And I can see there was rumours he had a night with Tina Turner as well. So that, but yeah.
Doctor Who
Okay.
as well.
But yes, we'll start them rumours now. But yes, so we are going to be talking about one of my favourite shows from all time. I'm still devastated that it's over, but to be fair though, let's be honest, it should have been over a long time before it did. Let's be honest, let's not look through it with rose-tinted glasses, but...
We didn't say what I do.
Oh, what do you do? Sorry, I thought you said it was just...
Well,
I thought it was just being a nerd. I
Caitlin.
thought it was just being a nerd. Oh, that was it.
So I graduated uni in 2020 doing drama and film. So I'm an actress, screenwriter, and director.
All right.
I'm also a scare actor, but I'm not as experienced as Megan. I'm also a cosplayer.
Mhm.
Yeah. And mate. Forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice as well, like say, because I know you have posted a lot of photos, guys. You do, I say, like be. I'm not going to say a stalk, but be are very friendly with a lot of cast members and stuff that I've seen getting lots of hugs from people that you go and meet and stuff like that. So they must be quite known to you to let you get that close to them so often as well.
Well, if you're watching and you know me,
Mhm.
you know how much I love Ruth Connell. So
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
just love all the supernatural cast that I've met. Everyone has just been so wonderful.
mhm.
And we can probably get into that as we go.
Certainly,
So, yeah.
definitely. But yes, Sammy, you want to do your disclaimer?
Yes, so everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook group where we can have an open discussion. What we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandoms, so let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
You're putting a posher
Best
voice
deal.
on now as well.
It gets more posher each time I see it.
But yes,
It's
so
sketched in the back of my brain now, Charlotte.
but I think with the subject we were going to talk about as well, because like I say, with fandoms as well, there's a lot of negativity or anger that can come out, and I think Supernatural is one of the ones that, like I say, especially online, the community can be quite. I don't want to say toxic because like say
Mm,
it's not like at the Star Trek or
Avoid
Star
it.
Wars level.
no,
but,
I think that's such a strong word when it comes to supernatural because I don't see that, and I am part of a Game of Thrones community and Star Wars and Marvel, and it's not as bad.
Mhm.
But there's always some bad pennies.
Just DL.
But yes.
Wincest.
Like not that. No.
I'm gonna learn so much here, aren't I?
I love dating people.
So, like say with this episode as well, I thought it'd be an interesting because we have already done an episode talking about supernatural where we did go on quite a lot. But I think it'd be quite interesting to pick out favorite episodes and talk about them episodes. And normally, like say, I am quite chivalrous and let the guest go first. But fuck yous, I'm going to pick the first one because I think it'll be quite a controversial one to start with. Because I loved, and I know it gets a lot of backtrack, the episode Carry On, the final episode. So I think
Oh,
doing it a little bit backwards, shall we say. So starting the podcast with the final ever episode, it would be an interesting one to discuss. Because I know
Yes. Spoilers.
yeah. All spoiler warning.
It's
No.
been out 2 years, guys. If you haven't seen it yet, that's your fault, not ours.
exactly.
Spoiler.
But
Spoiler
yes,
warning.
the final episode of Supernatural that came after, like, say, what felt like was going to be the final episode with the big confrontation between Jack and God. But with this one, it kind of went back to Monster of the Week, where Dean and Sam were just normal Joes taking on a nest of vampires, and unfortunately, Dean didn't quite make it through due to a spike. I know.
As Olaf would say, oh, look, I've been impaled.
It was quite a deep one as well, though. But like the emotional scenes as well, because we have become accustomed to the boys, and with them coming back and dying, it become a little bit repetitive, and you think, oh, it's not going to. So it was nice to actually have one of them die in a way and not be brought back. And the way they filmed it, and like the shots and how they used the music as well, I just think it was a fitting ending. And I know they wanted to do more, but with a lot of things, less is more. And I was glad we didn't get a full roller coaster of going back through the back catalogue of every character. It was nice that it was just Bobby there waiting for Dean. And the only thing that I thought was a bit, like, say, always makes us laugh is how the age Sam is just putting a grey wig on him, and it was a really bad wig. Like, say, there's nothing.
Wig was terrible. Even though I was crying my eyes out in that episode, like from the minute Sam started to say goodbye to Dean, I was sobbing, absolutely sobbing, even through that terrible fucking wig and makeup job. My God, I was still crying.
But you could even see how uncomfortable Sam looked in that wig as well. Like, you tell him he was like getting in the car, like say when he was doing the whole emotional scene, putting his hands on the steering wheel. It didn't look like Baby had been driven for a while, and it was just so hilarious. And like say the way they did it, and how like say they got him on like say the machine at the end, but like say taking that aspect out of it, like the battle, how they've done the callback to, I can't remember her name, but like say how it was like someone that Dean and Sam tried to save but couldn't. So, and it was just a gang of goons that killed them, and it was just entertaining. That, like as I said, it gave that final like say little full stop that God's not looking after them anymore. Is not writing the story for them anymore. So it's kind of like where they're done.
It is a new god, though, isn't it? Jack was letting them live by their rules, not Chuck's puppeteers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it wasn't performing to the books anymore. But Charlotte, what about you? I know you've like say waiting patiently there, bless you.
Oh, I loved the last episode. I think for that season there was 2 episodes. There was the season finale, and there was the supernatural finale, like the boys' final one. And I think considering when it was filmed.
Oh, we lost Charlotte.
Charlotte, no!
And all the restrictions and stuff they had in place, it was done to come back. We'd seen Mary and John in that one. That they'd come back, and I don't think they could have topped that.
Yeah.
It was literally just Bobby that they had, like, out of the meaningful sort of characters in their lives. It was literally just Bobby.
No, definitely.
So
Yeah.
maybe
True dad.
maybe it's Jess.
At a possibility, Ellen and Joe, because that
I think so.
Ellen and Joe
What
go
about
Yeah, Ellen and
Rowena?
Joe.
really emotional, and
Mhm.
Dean
Rowena?
goodbye with Joe. I was sobbing.
Yeah.
Like that episode was the first one that made me cry like a bitch.
Yeah, but let's be honest though. I know Caitlin did say Rowena, but that would have made zero sense because let's be honest, Dean fucking hated Rowena.
Yeah, she'll have been in hell.
And
You did
she's,
have
now
that.
and she's now the Queen of Hell, so it wouldn't make sense for her to be in heaven when she's residing in hell. It wouldn't make
Yeah,
sense.
but she did good as well.
True.
Like Jack,
But she was
she helped
stuck in hell.
Jack. Jack looked up to her a bit, and
Not
he
enough to
could
get
have
into
gave a
heaven.
wink.
But the thing is, though, I can understand to a degree, but like if you think about the boys, like it's when they die who they want to see and who they're looking to see. I think Rowena would, even though I love the actress and like say I have a major crush on her like throughout, like say like hot redhead, can't go any wrong. I wouldn't think she would be in the list of people that they wouldn't have seen. As I said, I think Joe would have been up there. Charlie
Yeah.
potentially,
Yeah.
because she was like say the little sister to them. So that would have been like one of the ones I would have probably added to. But I thought again as a fitting way to like because it's not an easy thing to do to finish a show like Supernatural. 15 years, 15 seasons of this as well, and we've been through like literally hell and back. Like every single integration, would be like say you're not going to make everyone happy, but as you said,
Yeah.
I did cry my eyes out, and I felt like say with what they had, it was quite fitting. So that would be the first episode I would pick there. So cool. So who wants to go next?
I'm gonna go with Scooby Natural.
Right, it's on my list as well.
Scooby
On
Natural.
mine.
Oh my life. So funny. That's the one episode that you can watch
Mhm,
out of sync. Like I think it's season 13.
mhm.
You can watch it out of sync, and it's absolutely hilarious. Like seeing Dean, literally, he's living his best life in the cartoon world.
But
He's like,
he
"Huh, I'm
picked
a
the
cartoon. You're a cartoon.
he picked the wrong one though. That's the thing though. He shouldn't have went for Daphne. He should have went for Velma. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, Velma
Yeah,
was all
but
about
if you look
Sam
at
though.
it, they're teenagers, and he's a grown-ass adult with Peter Pan syndrome.
Yeah,
But yes,
yeah, just that whole episode. And Cass being so confused about what the heck was going on in the actual world.
oh, but that's like I said. That's the
I
thing.
like it.
Cass
I
was
like
all,
it when Dean slaps Sam in the face and it just distorts.
Yeah, and the face is just all distorted,
Mhm.
and it's like,
but that's the thing though. That always used to work. That used to work well with the two of them as well. Is that Cass was always the great straight man, and it worked really well in the cartoon version as well, with all the different aspects. And as you said, when Supernatural does these ridiculous episodes, because they do like the comedy episodes, like say as we'll probably talk into a few more, because it is takes itself very serious at times. So it's always nice when you see them like letting off steam and doing something silly.
Yeah.
Like how ridiculous can you be going into an episode of Scooby Doo and being stuck in that, and then like say having them relate, because of course Dean's going to relate to Shaggy and Scooby, because like say when they see the food and get all excited, and Sam's there being all studious, and again being like say the serious, and Thelma's like say as Caitlin said, is looking up to him and like say almost hanging off him at times as well. Now there's a parody you wouldn't mind seeing, I think, but
yeah, it's always one I go back to. And talking about Supernaturals made me remember another one that kind of included like the slapstick kind of comedy from the cartoons. I can't remember the name of the episode, but it's where all of like cartoon violence came into the real
The
world.
Looney Tunes one.
That one, the Looney Tunes one. Oh, that
When he
was
tries to
good.
go walk through the time loop thing and he walks right into the wall.
Or like the 1 ton thing just drops
Mm.
in front of them, and it's like, what is
Mystery
this?
Spot.
Yeah.
Wait,
Wait, no.
Mystery Spot?
Mystery
No,
Spot was
Mystery Spot's the time loop one.
where everything keeps
Yeah.
on happening, where he's like the heat of the
I know
moment.
that episode.
That's my alarm.
Mystery Spot is so good.
I remember that one.
But yeah,
Oh, I
but
love
Mystery
that
Spot is
episode.
brilliant.
But Mystery
And just
Spot.
the slapstick
yeah.
ways that
I
Dean
might sorry,
fights it in that episode.
going back to Mystery Spot. When the piano falls on Dean, people are crying. I'm pissing myself.
But it's just like the
was
splattering.
the dog.
Yeah.
Should have kept happening in the most randomest ways. And I think
It
one
was
of
the
them, like,
dog.
Yeah, the dog like say, "Oh hi, boy," and all you hear is the noise. But
And then heat of the moment.
or slipping in the shower, choking on a Bigatons, or getting hit by a car.
and how many? Because they don't actually get a number because it's at the end. Sam says, "I've forgotten," like from counting. He actually says, like one of my favorite lines is basically, "Is this taco taste a bit funny to you?" And he's just like said, then he's just dead.
Next loop.
Next loop.
I think he dies
tell
over
ya.
100 times in that
It's
episode.
100. It's 103.
You
103.
just looked it up, didn't you?
Yeah.
103 times.
See my face light up. Google is on it.
But yeah, with Mystery Spot, like as I said, with like similar to the Scooby episode, it goes to the extremes because that was like the second Trickster episode, wasn't it? Where we got Gabriel, what we turned out to be Gabriel.
Yeah.
But like I say, the Mystery Spot one again, that one's just such a fun one. Just seeing Sam go
Yeah.
from start to being so manic and completely broken down as well. So it has that emotional aspect. Like imagine watching your brother, someone you're the closest with, die in these most unusual or
100 times.
like the funniest one is like I remember as well when he's taking apart the Mystery Spot with the axe, and Dean's like, yeah, he's going through a bit of stuff talking to the guy who's like duct taped up,
Tied up.
and he's like going over to him to take the axe off him, and all you see is the blood spattering, like the guy screaming as well, and it's good. Sam must have not wanted really wouldn't want to give away that axe.
If it was me and Michaela, and Michaela was the one who was going through the deaths, it would get to a certain point where I'd find it hilarious.
Right.
Yeah, and the whole thing where Sam knows exactly what Dean's going to say, so he's like, yeah, right, nice guess. Could I have
Somewhere
Sam?
in his underwear.
Sam Winchester was naked. Sam Winchester graduated through sex. And it's like, oh.
But like I said, that one again, another one that was on my list as well. Scooby Natural and thing. I'm trying to remember with Scooby Natural as well. How did they get into, like say
It
was a magic TV thing.
yeah, cursed
Yeah.
object in the
Cursed.
TV, sucked him in.
Right, because as I said, they got with like say with a lot of the episodes and some of the silly stuff, they got away with it just by saying TV magic or cursed object type thing.
Movie magic.
Like-
Don't ask any questions.
Like suspend the realms of disbelief at times as well.
Yeah. Or it was the trickster just
Yeah.
up to his normal shenanigans. And talking of the trickster, another one, changing channels.
Changing
I
channels.
love that one. It's brilliant.
You need to recap
So
me on
good.
these.
It's like the spoof of like the
It's-
Japanese game show.
I have genital herpes.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And like that whole Japanese game show where they're like,
The
"What's
nut
answer?"
cruncher.
And the next thing you know,
I'm not even a
Nutcracker.
dude,
Not
and I
sharp.
still cringe.
so I'm just like, oh, that's gotta hurt.
No,
My favourite part of that episode was Dean's face when he realised he was in Dr. Sexy.
Yeah. And he was Dr. Sexy.
I think funny one for me, French Mistake.
Yes.
I love
And
that.
Yellow
That's on my
Fever.
list.
Yellow, yellow fever.
French mistakes on my list.
And
think-
something called a padalecki. What? You're Polish?
Amnesia? What's amnesia?
But the yellow
And he's
fever.
like-
You married Ruby.
Oh,
Dude, you
Yeah.
got camels in your
Can't say
backyard.
Jen's
The
name.
llamas, dumbass.
but that's the one
Can't
where
say
he put.
Jen's
Where
name.
Alpacas again.
Their acting
It was
when trying to act like Sam and Dean was just, oh my good God.
And when they brought Jensen's Days in Our Lives in it.
Well, it was like, we're just going to
Didn't
get that makeup off. He was like, I'm not wearing any.
I'm wearing makeup.
Don't they pull a Gilmore Girl reference in there as well?
That's the
Yeah, they did.
Hollywood
No,
one.
yeah,
But
yeah, that's the Hollywood one when they're going through the like tour.
Yeah.
Ah,
that's the
I
thing,
remember
though.
that one too.
Yeah, when it comes to like the silly episodes, and I just said that because the comedy timing with all of them is absolutely brilliant as well. Like I said, Mystery Spot, Yellow Fever always does give people like I say,
Yellow Fever
Mhm.
is such a good. That was on my list as well. Yellow Fever is just brilliant. Like, especially with the locker and the cat
Yes,
and the scream.
and as
I
Dean,
just like the
was very
bloopers
discreet.
because
The bloopers.
when he's jumping up and down.
Was it yellow? Was it yellow fever that gave with the Eye of the Tiger blooper?
Yes,
It
yeah.
was,
That's the
wasn't it?
one. That is the one. Oh my god, that was my favorite blooper, and I love how they put it at the end, just for a little bit of a laugh for the credits.
But with Yellow Fever as well, like that again showcased everything about Dean as well. Like from the starting point, like being so little, saying, "Oh, I don't want to go that way." Why? Just because them teenagers look a bit too dodgy for him, type thing. To the point where he's like being terrified of ghosts, and he's and then
Or it's like
he's
a
got
hotel rooms on the 4th floor.
yeah,
That's high.
and he's got the vision of Lilith, isn't it? That's almost giving him the heart attack at the end, and then it goes. Because with all the funny ones as well, there's a bit of tinge to sadness and quite brutal as well. And how Sam and Bobby deal with the ghost in that as well, by basically tying an iron chain around its neck, then pulling them out to scare the ghost to death. So again, realms of out there of craziness to the point where, like I say, the way to kill this ghost, you have to scare it to death, which just is absolutely madness when you think about it. But as you said, it worked. It worked so well.
I think that's how I'll end up going out, you know.
Scared,
Just being scared to death.
Bless you.
Because I'll just end up laughing so hard that's how I think that's what'll end us.
Scared to death by something you haven't seen.
Yep, that's it.
But,
Or that I have and everyone else hasn't. That's what's going to get us.
but probably one of my sorry, go on, Charlotte.
My favorite line in Yellow Fever is when Dean has his proper breakdown and he's shouting at Sam and he lists what they do and he goes, "You know who does that? Crazy people."
I actually
and he's
used
running down the street from the little dog.
I actually used that
Best
clip
moment.
from my TikTok today for the supernatural one. I used that
Brilliant.
clip.
You know who does that? Crazy people. And it's like, dude, that's literally you on a daily basis without this thing that's messing you up.
Like if I say trying to think of other like comedy episodes as well. Like one of my favorites. It's quite funny at the start, but it gets a little bit sad up towards the end. It's the Time for a Wedding. It's basically where where Becky's basically got a witch friend who's put a love spell on Sam, who's then just obsessed, but she's getting taken advantage of by this witch, who she thought was a witch, but turns out to be a demon. But Sam just protecting, and how desperate Becky is to be loved by Sam, and there's probably a lot of fangirls out there that would have pulled the same trick as well. But
I was going to say, like, there's a running joke that, like, I always like to think, sort of, if I was a supernatural character, I'd be like Charlie or something, but no, I would 100% be Becky. I can't get away from it.
But yeah, like I quite like. Yeah, I like the Becky episodes as well, though. When she's in it, she's always quite entertaining. Like her rapport with Chuck and that murder.
I love her and Chuck together.
Becky, can you stop touching me? No.
No.
But the whole what was it, the murder mystery one as well, where they do like a supernatural reenactment, and they've got these people that's been like trying to be Sam and Dean, and it's pissing
like,
Sam and Dean off so much.
The first ever supernatural con or something like that, isn't it?
It's a convention, isn't it?
Yeah.
Becky steals Chuck's phone.
And invites
I
them.
remember that one.
But
There's
yes.
a common theme in this.
Now,
I
this
remember that one.
Like, this one, not as funny, but I forgot the name of it. But in season 15, when Rowena is back as the Queen of Hell, because in the rupture, that was like when I cried the most, because obviously Ruth Connell's my forever number one. And when all her dying speech and that, I was sobbing like a big baby. And then, because I remember I was woke up during the night and I saw stuff about Rowena dying, and I was like, what? So I had to look it up because I can't wait. I was crying. And then when I found out she was back as the Queen of Hell, I was screaming and jumping up because I'm like, yes, she's back. But I was also pissed a bit because she was only back for that one episode because of COVID. So,
but her entrance in that episode was just iconic. That
hello,
entrance
boys.
was amazing.
To be fair though,
It's a very famous episode as well.
if Crowley was there at that point, he'd be like, "That's my line."
To be fair though, Rowena always knew how to make an entrance. Doesn't matter, like from like the first
yeah.
episode that she was in, you knew she was going to be a player.
Yeah, with the book, and she just looks up, and the bellboys are bleeding on her.
I got very.
And I remember on an interview, Rue Jensen was directing that episode. He made her sit on some pillows to make herself look a bit taller.
Because she's the little thing as well, isn't she? She's only tiny. But I just find it so lovely that her and the actor who plays Chuck are married in real life as well. And, like,
they're
Rob
not married.
Benedict.
Oh,
They're not married.
They're not married.
Yeah.
Sorry, but they're in a relationship.
They are so cute together.
Yeah,
I
but
love it.
but the things that they post on like the social medias and stuff like that, when they're going out and doing things together and stuff,
I love Robin and Ruth.
They're amazing.
But yes,
They're so cute together.
but I know Sam's been a little bit quiet, bless her. So what would you say one of your favourite episodes there, Sammy?
I was just hoping you would just like bypass us so I didn't have to embarrass myself. Oh, I'll go with the one that it'll probably be on Paul's list, or at least one of them has to be a Charlie episode. And probably Charlie's entrance was probably my favourite. I did like, is it when she was at the Renaissance Fair?
That was on my list.
That's my favourite Charlie episode, but for many reasons.
But I do like the introduction to Charlie.
Yes.
I just love Charlie in general, and probably haven't watched after season 10 because of how Charlie was taken out. I don't like it.
It was the worst, absolute worst death.
I think they generally did the character dirty.
Like at the end of that episode, I was just sitting there like, what? And then went straight to the next one and the funeral, and I was crying all over again because I loved Charlie.
I saw it on Twitter.
Like, as much as I love Charlie, I didn't cry that much.
Can we stop booing? Can we stop booing Caitlin now? So
I cried and I didn't even watch the full episode. I just watched a clip of it. I was gonna watch it. Don't know why.
I cry more at Rowena moments, like when she tells Crowley why she hates him. I know that one off. That scene, I know word for word. And they did Crowley dirty as well.
Yes. Yeah, but that was
Rowena when she found out
really
Crowley
did, but I think that was
dead. It took my heartstrings.
Yeah, I think the Crowley.
I have of my heartstrings.
Yeah, I think the Crowley situation was more what was going on
backstage politics, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what was going on?
Yeah, he wasn't getting on with the producers or like the show writers or something like that.
Typical chef.
Yeah, but
they weren't doing the right thing for his character, and it was just they did him dirty. Massively dirty.
Yeah, because like say he grew from like his introduction to where he was like he was
absolutely one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, definitely. Probably one of mine as well.
He's one of my favorite people in real life as well because I met him a few times.
He's so lovely, Mark Shepherd. He's an absolute angel. We love
him.
One
of my favorite moments, one of my absolute favorite moments in the show is when Crowley and Bobby kiss and Crowley takes the photo.
That's a real photo.
I know.
Still has it on his phone.
Absolute genius that was.
Literally, we were at the Crossroads a couple of months ago, the Supernatural Con in the UK, and Mark was fiddling with his phone, and then he pulls it up. And it's that photo
in his favourites.
Bill got the photo in his favourites on his phone, and everyone was just howling. It was so funny.
So even though there was backstage politics going on with Mark Shepherd, he still goes to the conventions.
Oh no, he's a big, huge fan.
That is that's just a testament to him. Like
he does it for the fans, not for the money.
No, absolutely. I just think that's such a testament to like the person he is, that he can put bullshit like that aside and still do things like that.
Yeah,
because some people wouldn't. They would literally just fuck them off, and that's it, done and dusted.
I genuinely can't think of another fandom that are so close to the stars of the show.
Yeah.
Firefly.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean though? Like that it's almost like it's almost like the fans are part of the show, and there's not many other fandoms that do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a close-ish bond with Ruthie. And Mark Shepherd.
Yeah. Mark Sheppard, he's just amazing.
Going back to what Sam said as well, because like I say, I did want to just dedicate, like, say, I could dedicate a full hour talking about how wonderful Felicity Day is. But as you said, her introduction in that episode, I can't remember the name of it now, where
I didn't look into it
Oh,
either.
Dick Roman.
Dick Roman
Was
is
it-
was in the worst season. It was in the worst
Last in
season.
the Rudo.
It was in the worst. No, it was the girl with the dragon tattoo episode.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the worst season of Supernatural, like say with the whole like Leviathans and the way.
Leviathan.
Yeah, but she was
Yeah.
like the thing that kind of stood out more head and shoulders and everything. Went like her introduction. She just brought like like kind of vibrance and something that was a little bit missing.
It's her. It's just all her. The character Charlie is no different to the person Felicia Day. Like there's very little difference in the two, but because it just works. She works so well playing that part. I read a book a few years ago, and she is just Charlie. It's so good.
It is, yeah.
But she is
There's another
just
one out?
Charlie. Yes, I know.
But
I
yeah.
know. I need to read that.
But talking about
Add it to the list.
yeah, talking about favorite, like say Charlie episodes, like LARP and the Real Girl. I think the episode was called.
That
Like say it wasn't just how good Charlie was in that episode, because it was her in an element being in like D&G and stuff like that, but just seeing how like Sam and Dean kind of reverse, like roles reversed a little bit, because you expected Sam to be all nerdy and being into that type of thing, but as soon as Dean saw like the medieval type of thing, like the sword play and everything,
Yeah.
he was just like this.
And he gives the Braveheart scene.
Yeah.
the Braveheart speech.
And-
That was just brilliant.
But I just love the whole like the chemistry with everyone in that as well. Like even in the tent when Sam's doing his research and he's got the little cosplay girl going all the different things, saying, "Oh yeah, I like a mashup," and then she invites him to his tent as well. And you thought, like, say to do some, and by the looks of it, to do some kinky shit as well, and how uncomfortable and like say and not at ease that Sam feels during that moment is just like say comedy gold throughout, and you don't think of a show like Supernatural being as funny as it is, like even in the serious moments as well. Like it does go to the far end like of craziness, like the whole Wizard of Oz thing with Charlie as well.
That really fucked me off. I wasn't pleased with that.
I wasn't
And
too
then
mad.
Dark Charlie. That
Yeah.
was just like, whoa.
I think my favourite Charlie episode, shocker, is the one where her and Rowena's trying to solve the codex thing for the Book of the Damned.
All right,
Yeah.
and she,
Because
yeah,
they're
because
clashing.
I did like their interactions.
Yeah, because I actually think there's a bit of sexual tension there. Because if you've seen season 14 with the other universe Charlie, her and Rowena go on a bit of a road trip, and we don't know what happened on the road trip.
Oh, well, what stays on the road trip, or what happens on the road trip stays on the road trip. Can I just ask, killing Charlie, did that move the plot point, or is that just an unwarranted death?
I think
I think it did a bit, because she solved the codex, sent it to Sam, then she was murdered. So,
But did it move it on after that?
I'll use
I don't know if it moved on the.
Yeah, I'll use a wrestling term. I think it was used to get heat on the bad guys, because, like I said, like it was meant to be the Frankensteins, wasn't
rile
it?
them up.
Yeah, it was supposed.
Yeah,
It was trying to.
I don't think it moved the plot point, but I think it was important to the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they needed that, not
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to be sure that our death wasn't, and it wasn't unwarranted. That they could have, they could have quite easily moved that plot point along without having to lose Charlie in the process.
I think it
If
warranted.
they hadn't have done, if they didn't do when the Wicked Witch killed her and then she was brought back, maybe they could do the fake out and resurrect her and bring her back, sort of thing. They could have done something like that, and then later on, as you said in the plot, they might have, if the writers were gonna be ballsy enough to do it, when clearly they have been recent over the time, kill her off later on.
Yeah,
they have been very ballsy and killed off really good characters.
Yeah, as you said.
That show.
Yeah, like I said, the whole Ellen and Joe killing off was heartbreaking. That, like I say, that's the thing. But with the whole Charlie episode, it felt like an afterthought. It wasn't, like I say, a big one, because it wasn't a big bad. They tried to make the Frankensteins, and I think they messed up, so it didn't lead into where they probably wanted to go with that. Because I think with the showrunners, it was very reactionary towards the end. Like, the fans aren't liking this, we'll move on to a different thing fast enough. And with like I say, the Charlie's death, it deserved to be like a season finale death, if that makes sense. It needed to be like a grand something to do for what the character deserved. So that's why it kind of felt a bit not missing, but felt a bit flat, and it could have been done in a way where it meant more to the show. And as you know, when you die in Supernatural, you don't really die. So that's
it just felt a little bit. It felt a little bit cheap to me. But that's just me focusing on her and not the story in its entirety. So I'm just looking at her perspective. But
you raise a good point though, Sam. So what would yes, out of your favorite episodes as well? What would you say hit you the most emotionally? Like take the last episode out of
the
condition,
rupture.
The rupture. So go on, Charlotte.
Because of Rowena, obviously.
I think now, Caitlin, we've gotten to you don't have to say obviously. We just know now. We understand. We understand your love, and I'm here for it.
So what about you, Charlotte?
Heart.
Yes.
The werewolf one.
Oh, you're gonna have to explain, Charlotte.
Sorry. Right. So it's a Monster of the Week episode, really.
Yeah,
is it
season 2?
What's his face? Is it Benny?
No.
Sam gets involved with a girl who turns out to be a werewolf.
Oh, Benny's a vampire, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, this was
He was friends or something as kids, weren't they?
Season 2, I think. This one, if I believe so. As Charlotte said,
then I should remember this.
It was Monster of the Week, but it was the most heartbreaking one. It wasn't the friend one where they were friends with the kids. It was literally basically she'd met a bloke on a night out, and he scratched her or bit her or something like that. And then Sam and Dean are investigating and they're like trying to find this person who they killed, and it turns out that she's the werewolf, and Sam falls in love with doesn't fall in love because TV love, like within the episode they have kind of like a relationship, and they try and cure her by killing the person that turned her, because I thought that would be the law. And at the end of the episode, it didn't work, so Sam has to put a bullet in her head.
Yeah, that's mainly vampire law, not werewolf.
I've got a picture of Jensen. Literally typed in the supernatural heart.
Just the one, yeah.
It's Jared Padalecki. I can't say his name. I put my teeth back in. He's just crying his head.
It's the very end where you just hear the shot,
one.
and then there's the one tear off Dean, and that's it.
That's it with loads of different shows. Like there's American Horror Story. I'm not saying which one because some people hasn't caught up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but that Supernatural Ellen and Joe broke my heart.
Was that Band and All Hope?
I think that was it.
Yeah.
Bobby, bro. It was the fact that it was he's not coming, but the realization that he's not coming back. That I see when I watched it, I think it was starting like season 11 or something. It's something like that, because they were very much available to us to watch, and me and my husband just binged it. Like I said to him at the time, I have never watched a show where I have not liked any episode or series. And then it got to season 10, and it was another who's dying this time? Is it going to be Dean? Is it going to be Sam? And I just got so tedious of it. But I remember Bobby's death really affecting us. I think I mourned after that. I have a thing, if a TV death, I mourn for a very long period of time. And I think Bobby was one of them.
I like how they brought Bobby back as a ghost though. And he's like, I'm right here, you idiots.
Idiots.
Yeah, they kept on doing that with little things as well. Like if they went to visit hell or heaven, Bobby was always like around type thing to kind of help them type thing. But
it didn't feel like it just didn't feel like an unjust death. You know, when you sometimes have a death that's like kind of taken, like the emotion that goes behind it is taken away because, they can just come back. Whenever you saw him, it didn't feel like that. It was all, I didn't give a shit. I was like, oh, Poppy, he's here.
I think that, I think,
bad.
I think the Ellen and Joe death, like say someone put in the chat, it was Abandon All Hope episode. It was when they done like the final rush to try and stop Lucifer from taking over Sam, wasn't it? At the time, and basically I think it was Joe that was wounded, and she wasn't gonna. And then Ellen just decided, I'm not leaving Joe behind. But you kind of like with that one as well, you were always sad because you always thought there was going to be more between Joe and Dean, because that little kind of connection and like how they kind of buzzed off each other, and you kind of wanted more from that, like as a payoff. So you lost basically the Joe and Ellen in the way that they did. But as well, you lost what you could have had in the series later on as well with that relationships.
As soon as Ellen said someone's got to let him in, I broke down. I was sobbing because I realised we're not just losing Joe. I was teary, but then as soon as you realise I was losing both of them, it's like, oh, gravy. No.
Is it just me though, or does anyone else just want Dean to be a lone wolf and have no romantic connection whatsoever?
No, because when you're seeing them with couples, and like when you're in relationships,
that actually leads into one of my favorite episodes.
Go for it then.
That leads into it's the first season, and it's the first Jin episode.
Ah, right. When he's going back saying like he's
when he's like Sam and Jess are engaged and his mom's still alive and he's
like, there's a woman in my bed. What do you mean,
that is seeing Dean get that happy life.
Never want him to have it though.
Oh, when Mary says John died of a stroke and he's like, oh, thank God.
It's just purely selfish reasons though, but I don't ever want him to have that happy life.
Do you not like Dean or something like that?
I love Dean.
Came so close, like so many times, like with Castiel's confession and the whole thing about possibility of something with Benny, because they spent
I love his
friendship with Benny. Him and Benny.
And the whole thing is that vampires mate for life, and the fact that Dean and Benny both went into a semi-depressive episode after they had to part ways. That is the way that vampire mates would react if they are rejected by their true mate.
I love their friendship.
I learned that I broke because I love Benny, and I think they definitely did him dirty, because when he went back to purgatory, it was like he could have survived the vamp attack. And then fast forward to season 15, back in purgatory, they're like, oh, have you seen Benny? He's like, oh yeah, he got ripped to shreds. And it's like, come on, my dude.
You know, I want to know where the alpha vamp could have been in purgatory.
And then like little flashbacks into alternate universes where you bring him back, and then to have him die like 5 seconds later, I'm like, come on.
If you haven't guessed, Megan has a soft spot for Benny.
Oh, I love their friendship.
I love if they're like brothers. It was so
I wish they brought the alpha vamp into purgatory, because Rick Worthy, that'd have been brilliant.
Rick Worthy is
if we're talking,
by the way.
If we're talking vamp episodes, you cannot beat the Gordon episodes.
Gordon was brilliant. He was
amazing.
Gordon was one of the best villains, best supernatural villains. Was. Yeah.
God.
I'd have loved if they brought some True Blood vamps into it. Can you imagine Pam from True Blood into?
Be a very, very different show.
Well, yeah, definitely. But
no,
we might have seen all 15 seasons then.
I can imagine Blanche just.
Have to Google Gordon.
Vampire is awesome, because Rick Worthy played the alpha vampire superbly, like absolutely superbly. We didn't see enough.
But that's the thing, though. When it comes to the alphas as well, that was such a wasted premise, because when they start doing that as an idea, I thought this is going to go for at least a couple of seasons. Like I got really excited seeing like the alpha werewolf, the alpha like shapeshifter, like the alpha Wendigo. Like I know. And we kind of got like shortchanged with it a little bit as well. Like that's the thing with Supernatural. Like it done something so well for so long, but there was quite a bit of missed opportunities because when they were thinking about doing spin-offs and stuff, they were getting, oh, we're going to go with this, and it kind of lost the feel of certain aspects. Which again, it with a show that like one, you're not going to please all the fans or anything like that, but like say as you're saying that episode with like Benny and Dean getting out of purgatory, and like you find out like how they got out and like the reaction to leaving Cass behind as well, and how that kind of like affected the relationship as well. But as Sam was saying there as well, like almost like Dean needs like a brotherly type of relationship to survive. That's how he kind of gravitates towards Cass, Sam. Like say Benny, even in purgatory, he found like a brotherly type of person.
He needs a
Crowley
male.
eventually.
Yeah, eventually
He always needs a male counterpoint. He
and
needs that strength. He needs what he's lacking from the other person.
Yeah, and I feel like because of the way Sam reacted to Benny, that's
Yeah,
why
he was a bit of a dick, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Sam
he
was
saw
such
him
a
as
dick. Oh my god.
It was
well.
jealousy though. It was
yeah.
complete jealousy.
He's like, he's my brother, not yours.
Yeah, like
It's
get
like,
off my
in
brother.
purgatory.
To be honest, I'm like that with kids. I get attached to my mum. I'm like, that's my mum, not yours.
I've
It's
done
like
that
you
to my
weren't in
sister a few
purgatory. You
times.
have no idea what we went through.
Yeah, there's something that they've been through that he'll never be able to experience. But I completely forgot who Gordon was for a second, so I had to Google. My God, it's Sterling K. Brown.
Yep, it's absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant.
Amazing. He's absolutely
I
brilliant.
remember him now, and I'm like, but I completely forgot it was him who played him.
From
I
his
think
he
with
had the
Alfred's as
most-
well. Oh, sorry, Charlotte.
He had the most fitting ending because he was turned into the thing that he was hunting. After putting Sam and Dean through all of that, he turned into the thing he was hunting. It was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I
yeah,
think with Alpha stuff as well, I think if we go by witches, like Olivet was supposed to be the Grand Coven head witch, and she ends up getting taken down by Rowena. So that obviously shows that Rowena is the most powerful witch. I can see Sammy laughing. But
I'm
like,
not laughing.
I'd have loved to have seen more, you know, like obviously it was funny when Rowena was kicking the crap out of her, but it'd have been funnier to see more, you know, after she got turned into a hamster.
I want her hair so badly.
Yeah.
I really want her hair so badly.
On the topic of like
Rowena's?
witches and spells, Rowena's hair, just amazing. Like witches and spells, that kind of leads into another episode that I want to talk about, Dog Dean Afternoon.
Oh, that's so cute.
That episode made me laugh so much. I swear to Chuck, it was so funny. It's like the fact that he's just chatting and like doing more actions, like making more like a dog, and then the dog's having a go at him, and then he's having to go at the pigeon, trying to shoot the pigeon for crapping on baby, and it's like, oh my god.
Are you arguing with a dog about sticks?
It's like, hey,
Don't know which one you're talking about.
it's where the only witness to a murder is a dog, so Dean takes a spell so he can talk to a dog, but he starts exhibiting more
like dog
like,
reactions and they start to run around with like a pack of dogs and stuff like that.
but he can
Amazing.
talk to all animals.
Ah,
I
right.
like
Yeah, I
the
like
Yorkie.
that.
Sorry.
The little Yorkie in the pound. Oh my god, so funny.
But yeah,
Oh, and like
Guardian Dean as well.
and Leslie, look at the voice in it. Oh my god.
Does anything happen to the dogs?
No,
That's
It doesn't.
all right. I can watch the
No
episode
dogs were
then.
harmed in this episode. You're fine.
the
It's-
episode
it's one of those
with Guardian Dean
episodes-
as well. Sorry.
It's one of those episodes that just look like they had fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
another
they had fun with every episode because
Mhm.
Jensen and Jared would be pranking people.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the ones that I absolutely like. Probably is one of my favorite ever episode. It has a Gordon influence, but he's not in it. He's like kind of like a side part. Is the one with the rabbit foot. It's
Oh,
basically
that's another one
That's what
I
I was
used
just
on
about to say that.
yeah.
I lost my shoe. I love that episode.
when basically like say everything that can go right or can go wrong, and it was like was it the first introduction of Bella as well?
Yeah.
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 Bella
Is
Talbot.
I've just seen her name pop up. Is that's
Lauren
Maggie.
Cohan.
Yeah, it's Maggie from Walking Dead.
Maggie.
with her actual accent as well,
Yeah.
Yeah, which sounds really fake.
doesn't it? But even though it's her
It
own
does
accent, but
actually,
doesn't
yeah.
she sounds more convincing as like a Southern American, like
I
with that
can
really
remember-
drawl.
I remember watching it the first time and saying, God, her accent's terrible. And then looking it up and I was like, oh, that's
Oh,
her
that is her
actual-
accent.
I was like, oops.
And that episode does give us the best line ever as well.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. and Dean later became Batman as well in the animated TV as well. So
He was
Yeah.
also Jason Todd.
It gives her one of the best deaths as well. Like some of the best deaths because they're so
oh,
like
the
Final
most violent,
Destination
yeah,
deaths.
definitely.
Oh, they're like that proper Final Destination deaths.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
I like
Beth will
the
like that.
episode regarding
No.
Dean. You know, when Dean gets cast or something and he ends up losing his memory.
Losing memory,
Mhm.
When he
Yeah.
starts forgetting who he
That
is.
starts off
Yeah.
funny, but gets really
Yeah.
emotional.
Like, I like it when Rowena comes in and he's like, "Who are you? Your hair is so bouncy." Why,
Mhm.
thank you.
Oh, her
Do
hair
we
is so
have to
beautiful.
fix him?
I'm sorry, I could have a whole podcast about her hair and just how much I
so
want it.
perfect.
Oh, Ruth Connell's hair. She's
Is it
amazing.
her hair?
Yeah.
Or is it wigs?
That's
No, it's
her
her own
hair.
hair. She's a natural redhead.
I'm just thinking, is she doing a Nicole Kidman? Or is she actually, is that actually her hair?
No,
It's
Ruth
her.
is all natural.
Oh, interesting.
All
So,
Scottish and natural.
so I think, like I say, to round up a little bit as well, I'm going to ask the hard question now. What is your favourite episode?
Oh,
No,
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 you can
It
only
starts
pick
from
one.
season 1 and ends
It's gotta-
in season 15.
Nope, you got to pick
no,
one.
you gotta go one and you can't go, and it would lead into this one. No, it's just gotta be the one.
'cause I know there's one we haven't talked about. It's not my favorite, but fan fiction, the musical episode.
That is my ultimate favourite episode. Like I say, I love musical
Oh,
theatre, and I just think it goes stupid and silly because, like I say, you got like a scarecrow monster as well, but I love it how it moves on the story as well. That is, like I say, just up there with, like I say, as perfect supernatural episode as you can get. So that would be my pick, fan fiction.
Lovely.
I'll have to
Yeah.
go with Ruth Connell's very first episode because that was the introduction to my favourite characters.
Mhm.
Obviously, Ruth Connell's. Obviously, Rowena was the introduction. Hey,
What about you, Charlotte?
Justin Bellow, well, the first time you see Lilith
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a
in
good
the
one.
police station. I think it's brilliant.
Oh, and how the plays out as well. It's
I
very.
just think it's brilliant.
What was it based on? It was a John Carpenter film. Escape from Precinct. It's
Assault on Precinct 13.
that's it. Yeah. So that episode was basically a homage to that. How it
Absolutely.
worked.
So good.
Yeah, because that was one where they've been caught by the FBI as well. So it was done to
Yeah.
perfection.
Yeah.
Well,
That
And it
FBI
was-
one where they're being chased in the woods as well. It's like, well, what we have here is a failure to communicate. We're not trapped out here with you. You're trapped out here with us. That
Yeah.
whole episode is really good.
It was so sad as well because the characters that died in that episode had so much potential to go on to be regulars.
Mhm. Yeah, that again was done so well because you weren't expecting it, and then you see the little girl working with the white eyes, and you knew that she meant business, and it kind of like say
Brilliant.
that season went on from there, and it was quite a strong season. Sammy.
Oh. Oh, I don't have one. I don't have a strong enough. I couldn't. I know I couldn't say.
I think I've got one. I've had to narrow it down because there was like 3 in my head. I was like, it could be Supernatural, it could be this one, but I have to go with Kane's first episode, the first episode with Kane, where they go to his house with like Dean and Crowley. That whole episode was just amazing. Like,
when Crowley goes like that and Dean's like, seriously?
yeah, like, it's like or like Kane just makes Crowley shut up and he's like, and he's like, oh, you got to teach me how to do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I couldn't give a strong enough conviction of, what episode I could pick. I really couldn't. I've even been thinking while you were
Okay,
talking
so-
there.
What's your
Go
favourite
with
moment then?
episode 1 because it's the just start of the journey.
The pilot.
The pilot.
Oh, what's the one with the? No, I tell you what. The Bloody Mary episode, which is one of the first from the first series, and it's only because it's the episode where I was like, "Oh, I'm in this now."
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm in this, so I'll go with that. See, I can do it.
that's a good one.
So I like that one. Your favorite moment as well. It's a difficult one, but probably is
Oh, Charlotte, man.
when we're getting introduced to death for the first time, and
Yeah.
you hear the music,
So good.
and like that actor who played Death was just absolutely
Julian
perfect.
Richings.
Yeah.
Julian Richings, amazing actor.
Cool.
Oh, he's brilliant. He was in Umbrella Academy recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he was. I thought I recognised him.
Yeah, he was the guy behind the desk at the hotel.
He's got such an unusually creepy face, hasn't he? It's so
And
unique.
You
was
couldn't
the
cast him as like a
gatekeeper,
Prince
Percy
Charming.
No,
He was, but you couldn't cast him as like Prince Charming or anything, could you?
no.
That
no.
is-
But yes,
Well, apart from Rowena's Queen of Hell revelation thing, I have to say, when Cass is going, I don't understand. If the pizza man really likes the babysitter, why is she slapping her ear?
That is just iconic.
Yeah,
was
and
it
obviously,
Busty
Ruth
Asian,
Buckley's Queen of Hell
yeah,
is my ultimate
The Asian
favourite.
beauties.
Busty Asian beauties as well. Like you see, is the always hero.
I have one.
Cool. Go for it then, Sammy.
It's a Castiel one. It's the episode where they are playing themselves in a TV show. Am I saying this right? And obviously I can't remember what Castiel's real name is, the actor.
Misha Collins.
Misha Collins, that's it. Is
Well, his real
Misha
name's Dimitri.
is Misha Collins running up to them and they're talking to him. He's going, that's not in the script. That's not.
Yeah, and he's tweeting it.
yeah.
Yeah, squared.
Just I'll do like that episode. My memory's shocking.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So to end it all, like tonight, I'm going to ask one question because I think it's been a running theme throughout. Who's your favourite character in Supernatural?
Rowena.
Benny. Definitely Benny.
Charlotte.
I think
But you're not
everyone
allowed-
was expecting me to say Rowena.
You're not allowed to pick Sam or Dean though.
What?
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, but then I'll have to go with Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby.
I'm saying
Bobby.
Right, well,
Crowley.
seeing as Sam's picked Bobby, I'm going to go Crowley.
Right.
I think he's
Oh, I love
absolutely
Benny
brilliant.
as well.
I'll go Charlie just for reasons, but yeah.
Just for reasons.
There's
For
too many
all the
brilliant
reasons.
characters.
Yes.
There's too many brilliant characters and too many brilliant moments in the show
Mhm.
as a whole.
I mean, my
Like-
favourite male is Crowley. My favourite female is Rowena. So
Yeah.
And the one thing
Isn't that his mother?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I do
Probably.
think as well, one thing that Supernatural does get right more than it gets wrong is the bad guys. Like, say,
Yeah.
it gives us so many memorable bad guys, but again, that's for another podcast for another
Well-
time.
On that
Just thought
note,
of another character that I love, and I'm just like, crap. Now that you
Sorry,
mentioned villains, I'm like, crap. No, that's
on
my
that
favourite moment.
note, can we just say that this episode is dedicated to Nikki Acox, who sadly died to cancer
Mhm.
last week or the week before, and anybody who watches Supernatural knows she was the original and the best Meg.
Yes, the original Black
I
Eyes.
love them both equally. So
Oh,
Yes.
that's lovely.
I think we need a Rowena spin-off of when she was the mother to Crowley, to becoming a witch, to becoming the Queen of Hell and being on the run.
I'm sure.
They tried to do the Wayward Sisters, but it didn't take off. I would have loved to see Wayward
Obviously, it's
Sisters.
not Rowena.
I wanted a Crowley and Cass spin-off, you know, when they were off doing their own thing.
Jay-Z and
That was
Beyonce.
brilliant.
Well, I wanted to
Bless
see
you.
more of Asmodeus because obviously we didn't see a lot of him. as
Evil
a villain.
Colonel Sanders.
But I wonder what, like I said, I wonder what will come out though, because now we've got, as I said, the new one, the Winchesters, and
So good.
You
I
kidding?
love it.
I've been hounding Kripke and Jensen saying, get Ruthie and Mark back for a Rowena thingy.
I'll not comment then because I've watched it. And, yeah,
I will
I've
admit I've not
watched
seen
some
the
of them. I
Winchesters
need to
yet.
catch up.
I'm
I,
really
um,
enjoying it personally.
Mhm,
Yes,
But they could bring back so many characters from the show
mhm.
it's like
set in the past. So it's like they could bring back the Princess of Hell, they could bring back Crowley, they could They could bring everybody back if they wanted to.
It's
but
like, you remember that
not
the end of
possible.
that episode where we see someone's hand, and the whole fandom was like, "Is Ruth Connell back?" But it was all disappointing.
Someone hasn't seen the Winchesters. No spoilers. Someone hasn't seen it.
I'm
People on here
I'm just
haven't
happy.
seen
I'm just happy that we're getting them all back in the boys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it.
Yeah, Charlotte.
So happy.
And hey, we're getting
Jeffrey
Rob.
Dean Morgan's in the next season.
Yeah.
Oh,
Papa Winchester.
Yeah.
But yes.
Daddy
Winchester's back.
Winchester.
Yes.
It's Daddy Winchester.
But yes. But yeah.
It is.
Thank you for joining us this evening, girls, for taking time out on your Tuesday night. So we'll wrap up now with that one, I think. So
Yes.
So we are back on Sunday for the Nightmare Before Christmas episode, which again we will be reviewing and talking about, which we entertaining and full of songs, I guess. Will
hopefully be not as terrible as last week's episode. Not terrible in a bad way, just as in we'll keep on subject. Charlotte's here. Charlotte will keep us right.
We never keep on subject.
I don't know how I can get like that, like say, Nightmare Before Christmas to the levels of the depths of depravity that we got Home Alone. I don't think that's going to happen, but yes.
Is that a challenge?
So we are
challenge accepted.
So yes, and we have got like I say, the Patreon that's starting up soon, so hopefully that'll be going. But thank you guys, thank you for everyone in. I don't know if there's anything that you guys want to plug when's your next episode out.
I need to edit it first.
We have just recorded an episode, but it is in the process of being edited. Maybe we'll try and aim for it as an anniversary special. We shall see.
Well, that's what we're doing anyway, because we've got a special celebrity guest on it.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
Oh, interesting.
Our clues are on our social media. See if you can get it.
Right,
I will go find you.
So check Prodigies of Hell out.
Cool, thank you. And same bat time, same bat channel, guys.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
Bye.